P.I.P.P. by Burning Butterfly. Story 2. If I Were You. A small pink Pegasus with a wavy violet mane frantically typed at the keyboard of the family's computer. Hastily, she scanned the email she had composed. She wanted to add more, but there was no time left. In a few minutes, he wouldn't arrive. Placing her painted hoof on the mouse, she moved the cursor over to the Send button and clicked on it. She involuntarily shuddered when she heard jingling keys by the front door. Panic almost made her throw up on the keyboard, but she managed to close the internet browser and shut down the computer just before the door opened. Hurrying to the kitchen, she quickly began washing dirty dishes, hoping that he wouldn't find out what she'd been up to. She had sent an email to her hero, Princess Pipp Petals. It read, "Dear Princess Pipp Petals, I'm your biggest fan. I know lots of ponies must tell you that, but I really am. I think you're the most beautiful, awesome pony ever, and I try my best to be just like you. I bleached my feathers and dyed my mane violet to match yours, plus I always wear gold hoop polish. I'm a horrible singer though, but still, whenever I listen to one of your songs, I can't help but sing along. I'm totally freaking out that you're coming here to Zephyr Heights on your next stop on your tour around Equestria. I hope I'll be able to go to your concert. The tickets are pricey, but I've been saving up and I think I can buy one before they sell out. OMP, you're just the best, the most fantastic singer ever. I can't wait to see you. Tons of love from your #1 pipsqueak, Poppy Seeds." When Poppy was finished washing the dishes, she slipped back to her bedroom, which was tiny due to the small size of her family's apartment. She checked if her phone was finally fully charged. Because her phone had died, Poppy had been forced to use the computer to send her first email to Pipp. It was a risk she definitely wouldn't take again. Once outside her bedroom window, the tall, sophisticated buildings of Zephyr Heights became skyscrapers of rose gold thanks to the blazing sunset. Poppy could see Pegasi soaring and gliding through the majestic pink city. She imagined she was out there flying with them. She could almost feel the wind rushing through her feathers, but her aching left wing brought her out of her daydream. Poppy, having lived with the pain for years, was used to the soreness of her wing, but a different kind of pain caused her to shed tears as she watched the world outside her window. Poppy couldn't fly because her left wing was permanently broken. But if there was a way a pony could fly with only one good wing, Poppy would find it. She knew she'd figure it out someday. Till then, she would keep her mind on happier thoughts, like Pipp's arrival. As she pressed her hoof over her eyes, Poppy smiled and excitedly wondered what Pipp's response would be to her email. Pipp didn't reply to Poppy's email. Overwhelmed by her glowing around Equestria tour, Pipp had no time nor energy to check her email. After working her vocal cords to the max for every performance, she was exhausted, and the task of reading so much fan mail was too challenging. "Going through my inbox is such a drain," she told Zip. "There's like a zillion emails from my pipsqueaks I still haven't read yet. I want to reply to all of them, but that would take me forever. But I just can't ignore them either. What am I going to do?" Dropping herself onto her plush bed, Pipp slammed her face into a pillow and groaned. The two sisters were in Pipp's old bedroom in the Zephyr Heights Royal Palace. Queen Haven had insisted that Pipp stay in the palace while she was performing in Zephyr Heights. You could try using an auto messenger app that sends replies for you, Zip offered. But... That's a great idea, Pipp squealed, sitting up. She grabbed the pillow she had just face planted into and hugged it. That would solve so many problems. But it's kinda dishonest, Zip finished, cocking an eyebrow. Pipp pondered her sister's words for a moment. True. Wait, I got it. I'll make a video explaining that. From now on, I'll be using an auto messenger. That way there'll be no confusion or hurt feelings. Under the safety of night, Poppy, wiping her eyes, reread the email she had sent to Pipp 1 week ago. She had hoped no pony would hear her crying through the thin walls of her drab bedroom. I creeped her out because I said I made myself look like her. That's why she didn't reply, she thought bitterly. She must think I'm a weirdo. How could I be so dumb? Poppy desperately wanted to explain herself, but that meant she would have to confess humiliating secrets to Pipp. Crawling into bed, she wrapped herself in old threadbare blankets, giving herself a moment to scratch the thin red scars near her hooves. She took a deep breath and gripped her phone tightly. Dear Princess Pipp, she began. I'm so sorry if my previous email made you feel uncomfortable. I just wanted to show you that I'm seriously your most devoted pipsqueak. Pipp, I made myself look like you because you're the most beautiful pony I've ever seen. I'm naturally hideous, so I had no choice but to change the way I look. And I thought looking more like you was the right thing to do. I don't want to be me. I want to be like you. I wish I were you. You're perfect, Pipp, and I'm broken in so many ways. My left wing is broken. My dad broke it many years ago when I was a filly. He was so mad at me because I had told some pony that he hits me a lot. He grabbed it and yanked it back so hard that it snapped. It was the worst pain I've ever felt. It's never really healed, so I can't fly. But please don't tell any pony. You'll make things worse for me. I'm a grown mare, but he controls everything I do. He doesn't let me go out on my own. I think he's scared that some pony will see what he did to my wing. He was furious when he saw that I had bleached my wings and dyed my mane. He beat me up. But you know what? I was so happy that I finally looked like you that I didn't even care about the pain. So you see, I only changed my looks because I love you so much, Pipp. No pony likes some pony who's broken, so I have to at least look like I'm perfect. I hope you understand. Lots of love. Poppy Seeds. Tears blurred Poppy's vision as she tapped the send button. She put away her phone and cried herself to sleep. But in the morning, she was smiling from ear to ear. Pipp had answered her email overnight. Poppy received this reply. Dear beloved Pipsqueak, thank you for the message you sent me. Your thoughts and opinions mean a lot to me. I may have a lot of Pipsqueaks, but you're special in your own unique way. Keep being the awesome you that you are. I hope I'll see you at my concert tonight, which will be at Metropolitan Mall in Downhouse Zephyr Heights. Love, Princess Pipp Petals. Poppy couldn't believe it. Pipp was inviting her to a concert, which meant she didn't have to worry about getting a ticket. In a delirious frenzy, Poppy rummaged through her closet for something to wear. Since she owned only Earth Pony apparel, all her clothes lacked wing holes. It made hiding her broken wing easier. The lavender hoodie she picked out was her favourite because Pipp's cutie mark was printed on the front. Once her parents had left, Poppy primped herself, put on her hoodie and saddlebag, and grabbed a spare key. After locking the door of her family's apartment, she headed for the stairway. As she cantered down the carpeted stairs, she wondered if any pony would mistake her for Pipp. But then she remembered her eyes were the wrong colour. Poppy's eyes were dark brown instead of yellow-green. She stepped out into the night and found herself dwarfed by a chaotic, bustling city. Intimidated but determined to arrive on time, she quickened her pace. Pipp's concert was about to begin. Other Pegasi zoomed past her, their healthy, strong wings propelling them rapidly through the air. Frowning, Poppy kept her gaze on the ground as she trotted along. "They're just a bunch of show-offs," she thought. Poppy arrived at the Metropolitan Mall in a few minutes before the concert was due to start. She shyly took a place at the end of the long line of ponies who were waiting to get in. One by one, the ponies ahead of her entered the mall after their tickets were checked. When it was finally her turn, Poppy stepped up to the bored, bubblegum-chewing mare who was checking the tickets. "Ticket," the mare said irritably, holding out her hoof. Poppy cleared her throat. So I got an email from Pipp?" "Great, another one, let me guess," sighed the mare. "Princess Pipp invited you to this concert." Yeah. That email wasn't an invitation, it's just a dumb cutesy-wootsy auto-reply. You got a ticket?" "No, but I got money to pay for." "Tickets are sold out. Look, I don't mean to be rude, seeing how you're an earth pony and not from around here, but you should have bought a ticket way before. Why are you trying to get one at the last minute? Did you seriously think an email would get you in for free?" Poppy's face burned hot. The security guards standing by the mall's entrance snickered and shook their heads. Poppy heard Pipp's amplified singing echoing from within the mall and the thumping bass beat of electronic music. She turned her back to the mare and the security guards and took off running. Galloping furiously, Poppy raced back to her apartment building and went in. She ascended the first flight of stairs within seconds, but before she could climb the second one, she collapsed from exhaustion. Panting, she pulled the hood of her sweater over her head and tightened it so it scrunched up around her face. Huddling against a wall, she made sure to cry very quietly. Walking down an elegant corridor, Pipp yawned as she calmly made her way through the royal palace to her bedroom. After yet another sparkling vocal performance, she was ready to dream the night away, swaddled in satin sheets and velvet comforters. She knew she badly needed some sleep because she was hallucinating. She thought she heard some pony crying. The weeping grew louder, and Pipp realised it wasn't her imagination. Following the distressing sound, she entered a dimly lit hallway. At the end of the hallway was a massive window that stretched from the ceiling to the floor, through which Pipp could see the Zephyr Heights skyline and the pearly full moon. In front of the window sat a hunched-over pony. Jagged sobs emanated from the pony's mouth. Pipp walked up to the stranger, her hooves clacking against the polished marble tiles. Swallowing, Pipp stopped a few paces from the pony. "Hey," she said softly, "you okay?" The sobbing mare looked up at her. Pipp raised her eyebrows and blinked. The mare resembled Pipp so much she could be her twin. The only visible difference was her dark brown eyes, which were rimmed with long lashes, damp with tears. The stranger looked at her with such longing that Pipp felt compelled to come closer. "Why didn't you reply?" Poppy questioned her. "Why did you send me something fake?" "Oh, my pony, she got one of the auto-replies," realized Pipp. "I'm so sorry. It's just that I sent you three messages." Pipp opened her mouth to respond, but she couldn't think of what else to say. How did this pony get into the palace in the first place? Where were the guards? Pipp wanted the guards to be present even more when the mayor's miserable expression suddenly became bitter and hateful. "All I got back was shallow, worthless crap. I poured my heart out to you. Don't you even care?" "Of course I do," Pipp protested. "You don't," shouted Poppy. "If you did, you would have read my emails. You would have known my left wing was all messed up. But now, both my wigs are broken. He broke my other wig because I went to see you. He broke both my wigs." She stood up and turned around. The bones and joints of her bruised, mangled wings were bent out of shape. Large, bloody, bare spots where dozens of feathers would be. Pipp took a few steps back. Poppy spun around and clamped her hooves on Pipp's shoulders. "But you know what?" "Let me go!" Pipp yelled as she shoved off Poppy's hooves. With a few wing flaps, Pipp lifted herself into the air. But Poppy jumped up, slinged her forelegs around Pipp's waist and yanked her down. "I can fly anyhow!" Poppy snarled. With Pipp in her grasp, Poppy leaped into the window. Glass shards sliced through their skin as two screaming mares plunged down, their lungs filling with icy air. They were only moments away from hitting the rapidly approaching ground. And then Pipp woke up. "Gah!" she yelped. Sitting up in her bed, her forehead was damp with cold sweat. She kept her hoof on her chest until her breathing returned to normal again. "Nightmare! Nightmare!" she whispered to herself. She grabbed her phone to check the time. It was 3 a.m. Going back to sleep was not going to be possible, at least for a while. She wondered what to do in the meantime. Well, maybe I should check my inbox. Maybe I can answer some emails. The auto messenger app might be a bad idea after all, she mused. Pipp opened the email app on her phone and saw that some pony had sent her a message at midnight. She clicked on it. The email read, "Pipp, I know you'll ignore this email just like you did my 2 others, but I wanted to tell you that I'm going to fly tonight for the first time in I don't know how many years. I finally figured out how to fly. It's all thanks to you and the monster. I humiliated myself when I tried to get into your Metropolitan Mall concert. Yeah, thanks for the fake invite. They laughed at me because I didn't have a ticket, and I went home feeling ashamed and so stupid. The monster, my dad, was waiting for me when I got home. First he grabbed me by my mane and threw me on the floor. Then he practically ripped off my hoodie so he could hit me over and over again on my back. I begged him to stop, but he just kept beating me. My crying made him so furious that he destroyed my good wing. You'll never understand, Pipp, the unimaginable pain of your bones breaking because they're being bent in half." He stepped on my mouth so no pony would hear me scream, and I couldn't breathe. He pushed me into my room once I stopped screaming, which is why I'm writing this email from here. I'm too scared to ever go out my bedroom door again. There's the window, though. My wings are completely useless. It's time for me to fly. Bye, Poppy Seeds. Shaking, Pipp stared at her phone. She rapidly scrolled through the sea of fan mail until she found Poppy C's 2 other messages. As she read them, she became increasingly nauseous and weak. Although she didn't understand how, Pipp knew that she had encountered Poppy in her nightmare. Abandoning her phone on the bed, she dashed to her personal bathroom, turning on the sink faucet as if it could wash away her fear and her guilt. She cried as she looked at herself in the mirror. Maybe it was the darkness of the bathroom or her tired, overwhelmed mind, but it looked like her normally green eyes were dark brown in the reflection. The reflection moved on its own even though she was standing still. Pipp yelped as her reflection's mouth opened and closed as if it was whispering directly into her ear. Pipp heard her reflection say, "I want to be you." Pipp's reflection jumped out of the mirror and knocked her onto her back. As the pony straddled her and held her down, Pipp screamed at the top of her lungs. The pony melted into a mist and rushed into her open mouth. Queen Haven, followed by her guards, galloped into her daughter's bathroom. "Pipp, my love, are you all right?" she cried. "Why did you scream?" "Something startled me," her daughter replied calmly. Haven wondered why Pipp was staring so intensely at the mirror. She was studying her reflection as if she had never seen herself before. Smiling from ear to ear, Pipp admired her wings and flapped them a little. Haven exhaled. "You nearly gave me a heart attack, darling. I've been anxious ever since I watched the late night news. I don't mean to upset you, but there was a report about a young, troubled mare who greatly resembled you. Her name was Poppy Seeds. She jumped from the 15th story window of her apartment building." "Pipp? Pipp, why are you crying? Did you know that mare?" "You could say that," she answered softly. "Oh, my love, I'm so sorry," Haven whispered as she stepped closer. "Everything will be fine. Don't cry." She gently wiped away her daughter's tears and embraced her. "I'm not crying about that," her daughter said as she passed a hoof over her eyes. "Then why are you crying, my love?" "Because I'm so happy." "Happy?" "Yes, because now I'm who I always wanted to be," said Poppy.
I clicked send, my heart in lines of light, hoping you'd read me in the midnight quiet. Fingers shaking, hiding dishes undone. My wings are broken, but my love has just begun. I watch your life on glowing screens. Dream I'm your shadow in your silver dreams. If I were you, I'd never feel alone. I'd paint my skies in gold, not broken bones. If I were you, I'd heal with every song. But here I am, a stranger haunted halls I call your name, a phantom plea you'll never claim. I barter all I've lost and planned to live the life I dream instead. If I were you, I'd never fear the night. I'd spread my wings and chase the morning light. If I were you, I wouldn't bear this shame. I'd have a name that echoes through the flame. If I were you.
It's the Mystery Pony Fiction Channel. Also available on Spotify. And Izzy Moombo is best pony, by the way. Brohof. Comment. Subscribe. Ring the bell.